What's going on, YouTube? I just wanted to do a quick deck profile of my deck that I won locals with yesterday. It's the True King Dinosaur deck. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of combos and like it can just OTK very easily. And in my opinion, it's pretty consistent. I've heard people say that they don't think it's very consistent, but I think it is. So I'll get in my matchups real quick. My first matchup was actually the mirror match, and I 2-0'd him. Game 1, I opened up with, I did a Trishula play to banish one from his hand, and then went into the Blathanir, the Phantom Fortress Blathanir, to banish another one, and then I had a Solemn Strike. So he was essentially playing with 3 cards on his turn, because I striked his Lithosagem, so he wasn't able to do anything. Round 2 rather was against a Spiral, or no, not a Spiral, I'm sorry, the Cubic deck. I beat him 2-1. He was able to OTK me, and then 2 of the games I chose to go second, and he would just pass because he didn't want to, I guess, play any of his cards because he wanted to try to OTK me following turn, but I was able to OTK him both games that I went second. And then third round was against it was a Spiral, Zodiac, True King, or True Draco deck. It was pretty interesting. It didn't seem very consistent. I beat him 2-0, I believe, and then the last game I played against the Shiranui Lightsworn deck, and I won 2-1. That game was really interesting because one of the times I went first, I banished with Lithosagem. I banished Norden, Seraphinite, and then I think a Utopia, so he couldn't go into Lightning. And as soon as I banished those, he actually showed me that he had Brilliant Fusion and an Instant Fusion in his hand. So that was 2 cards that were dead, and then I made an Etruria Beast and a True King of All Calamities, so he wasn't able to play at all that turn. That was a pretty sick game. So anyways, I'll get right into the deck. So I'm playing 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Let me try to focus this for you guys and girls. So this is like your boss monster that's not in the extra deck. It can special summon itself by banishing 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard. Also, you can, during your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or field, and if you do, you can change all your opponent's monsters to face down defense position. Also, he can attack all your opponent's monsters once each, and at the start of the damage step, if it attacks a defense position monster, you can send that monster to the graveyard so it doesn't destroy it, and then it deals 1,000 damage. So even if they're walling up behind a lot of monsters, if you're able to resolve his effect, you can still do a ton of damage just with that effect alone of attacking and sending. Next, I'm going to show you the True King package. So I'm running 3 of the Lithosagem, however you want to say its name. So this is the Earth one, and if you destroy 2 Earths to summon this, you can do them from your hand or your side of the field. You can banish 3 different monsters from your opponent's extra deck. So that's how I hit the dudes. Seraphinite, his Norden, and his Utopia. Also, if this is destroyed, you can get a non-earth worm type monster from your graveyard and special summon it. So it's pretty sweet. Next is 2 of the Fire True King Agnimazed, however you say his name. So if you destroy 2 fire, which you don't do very often, but if you do, you can banish 1 monster on your opponent's field or in their graveyard. Also, if it's destroyed, you can add 1 worm monster from your graveyard to your hand, so you can get one of your other True Kings back. Then we're running 1 water. Now, it is possible to destroy 2 waters to summon this, but you're hardly ever going to do that. And the way you do that is maybe like an Abyss Dweller and the Norden. I believe those are both I think those are both water, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Trishula is also water, but you pretty much want to pop this with your diagram, or you could pop it with another True King's effect, and then when this is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually special summon a True King from your deck to the field. So it's really good as a 1-of. Next we have 1 Dogoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju. You can search this out with your Oviraptor if you need to. You can also pop if you say use miscellaneous source to bring back Pterodon or whatever the level 2 one is, at the end of the turn it'll get destroyed and you can actually special summon this to your side of the field. Also, it's a get out to like a masterpiece or something, like a big boss monster that your opponent may have. next we're playing for rank 4 or level 4 dinosaurs. We have Miscellaneousaurus. This is a really good utility monster, so you can discard it to give your dinosaurs protection for the rest of the main phase. Also, when it's in your graveyard, you can banish it and any other number of dinosaurs, and then you can special summon a dinosaur of the level equal to the monsters that you banish with this to the field. So you can banish itself to get the Dracaleo, which is mainly what you use it for. You can banish 4 to get your Tyranno Infinity, so it's going to be automatically 4k just from this effect alone. Not to mention if you banish 2 from your, say, your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno or something like that. I actually had a 6,000 attack Tyranno Infinity yesterday against one of my opponents, so it was pretty nice. Next we have Soul Eating Oviraptor. So this is one of the most important dinosaurs in the deck. When it's summoned, normal or special, you can actually search for one dinosaur from your deck and add it to your hand. So like I said, you can add the Dogoron, you can add your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno if you needed to. Mostly I find myself either searching for Miscellaneousaurus or one of your babies, the level 2 dinosaurs. Also, you could target one level 4 lower dinosaur on the field, and then you could destroy it. So if your opponent has one, you can also destroy theirs. And then you can special summon one dinosaur monster from your graveyard into defense position on your side of the field. So it's really good. Excuse me. And then we're running one Tyranno Infinity. A lot of people, I don't think, like to run this card. I think it's really good because, I mean, it's like pretty much just a vanilla beater in the end. But you can get like a big dude out of your deck, you know, just from like a Miscellaneousaurus effect. So we're running one of him. Next we're running 3 level 2 Petite Pterodon, or however you say its name. So when this is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon a level 4 or higher dinosaur from your deck to your side of the field. You can't do Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because it can't be special summoned that way. But you could do your Dogoron if you wanted to. Mostly you'll be getting like a... Mostly I would get Miscellaneousaurus because you want to be able to, like, you know, set up a good defense, like a control board, turn 1 if you're going first. But yeah, so 3 of that. And then 3 of the better level 2 is Baby Ceratosaurus. Well, in my opinion, it's better. You can, when this is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur from your deck to your side of the field. So sometimes you'll be getting itself, sometimes you'll get a Soul Eating Oviraptor. It all depends on what you're missing from your hand, from your opening hand. Alright, next we're running 1 Dracaleo. I almost want to run 2 of this because I find myself a lot of times I'll have this in the graveyard, and then I'll also have a Miscellaneousaurus in my graveyard. And obviously you can't summon this from the graveyard with Miscellaneousaurus, so like I always kind of missed having an extra one. But I don't know, I mean, it worked out just having one. But having a second one, honestly, seems like it'd be easier to make like more insane boards. I do want to test with it. I might test with that online with 2. Alright, next we're running 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs. Now, I ordered a 3rd one of these and never came in the mail, and I'm really hoping I didn't get ripped off, so I'm trying to get a refund. I was going to take out Max C for the 3rd one. I'm honestly glad I didn't. I mean, Max C is obviously a good card, and I feel like I'm drawing Max C more at 1 than I was at 2 when I was playing 2. But yes, Max C came in really clutch yesterday. Obviously, I'm running the one of the Max. Oh, sorry, the one of Max C. So these are my 3 hand traps that I'm playing. But yeah, like, so against the Dinosaur player, I Max C'd him. So he only played an Oviraptor and set 1 back row and stopped him dead in his tracks. And so I was able to OTK him on my turn. Honestly, didn't even use Ash Blossom yesterday. Obviously, it is a good card. I just didn't get a chance to actually use it. It's only 2 up, so I barely drew it, and yeah, I never was able to use it when I did draw it. But it is good in theory, and yeah, Max C. I don't know. I was really skeptical about using 1, but it won me 2 of my games, honestly. All right, that's it for the monster lineup. Next, we're gonna go into our spells. So we're running 3 Dragonic Diagram. This card is insane. It really put dinosaurs over the top. So you could destroy one card on your side of the field or in your hand, and then you could search for a True King or True Draco and add it to your hand. A True King or True Draco card, that is. It's not even limited to monsters, which is pretty sick. But yeah, you're gonna be popping your dinosaurs or your true kings depending on what you need, and it just goes makes your combo plays like so much easier. Like this card really did this deck really well when it was released. Next, we're running 3 terraforming because you always want to see your gigantic diagram. It is unfortunate because a lot of people are going to be running Ash Blossom, and they could just stop this or your gigantic diagram for the turn, but you still got to run it because you want to see them. Next, we're running 3 fossil digs. This can search for a level 6 or lower dinosaur monster and add it to your hand. This also helps making sure you have all your combo pieces for turn 1. Then we're running instant fusion. This is the main reason you're able to make Naturia Beast. After you synchro your dinosaurs away, you want to Norden and then bring back your Draculio, and then if you have your True King of all calamities, you'll detach 1, call Earth, and you can go straight into your Naturia Beast. So yeah, that's it for the spell lineup. And for traps, we're only running 3 traps. I was split between running Solemn Strikes or Cosmic Cyclones, but Strike did come in really handy yesterday. I guess it all depends on if you feel like you're gonna go first or second more often. I was tending to take these out for either Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits, which are in my side deck, or I would put in the Cosmic Cyclones depending on the matchup. So that's it for the main deck. And then I'll go into the extra deck and then the side deck. Let me just get all these together. It's a hot mess. Alright. So I'm not playing Jurassic World, obviously, but I do love these tokens. I think they're beautiful, so I just keep them in my extra deck. Alright, so we're running... Let me get these sorted together, because I don't think they're... Yeah, okay, we're good. So we're running 1 Elder into the Norden for the instant fusion target. Like I said, it's really good for going into your Naturia Beast, or at rank 4, Utopia Lightning is a result of this as well. Okay, for our rank 9s, we have True King All Calamity. This card's really insane. So what you can do is you detach 1, and then you call a attribute, and then all your opponent's monsters on their side of the field become that attribute, and any monster in your opponent's possession, whether it be hand, graveyard, or side of the field, cannot activate its effects. So you don't want to call something crazy, like some people will call Divine just to be like cute, I guess, but you want to call something relevant, especially if you know what you're playing against. Like if you're playing the Mirror, you want to call Earth because then your opponent's babies can't activate in the graveyard. If you can call against like Shernui Lightsworn, I called Fire, so it's some of the fire zombies couldn't activate their abilities like in the graveyard or whatnot. I'm not sure if that's the best attribute against that, but I'm just saying, like, for example, you want to call something that's actually relevant to your opponent. So I'm running 2 of that one. I like 2 because if you are playing the Mirror, like when I play the Mirror, one of the times I banished, all he had was 1 Calamities, 1 Logia, 1 Dolka, and I banished all 3 of those, so he didn't really have any like good plays to go into, so it was a really easy one. So like, yeah, if you have 2, then it's a lot harder for your opponent to banish like all your relevant cards. If they were to run the Lithosagin. Are running 1 Phantom Knight Fortress, Enter Blethnir, however you say this. I don't know, I really like going into Trishula and into this because, like I said, it does banish 2 of your opponent's cards from their hand, especially if you have a Solemn Strike backup. That's half their hand gone / useless. It's not always the best play. I mean, you probably want to go into like a Logia or Dolka and then also your True King of all Calamities. But I don't know, it's a really cute play to banish 2 of their things, especially if you have a heavy trap lineup in your deck, if you're running them. But yeah, so for this you could detach 1 and you could activate one of the following effects. Banish 1 card from your opponent hand or their control or their graveyard or the top card of their deck face up. So we're running 1 of that. We're running 1 Tornado Dragon. Against the Spiral player, it was a Spiral True Draco the Zodiac deck. I actually made this because he had 2 face downs and I was really scared that it was going to be a Mirror Force. So I popped one of them and it was actually one of the True Draco spells. I didn't have any back row, so he wasn't able to pop anything, and then on his turn I actually popped his other face down and it was a True Draco trap. I wasn't really expecting him to have 2 True Draco Speller traps like in the back row, because he was only running a small True Draco engine. So yeah, I popped that and he was able to destroy one of my relevant cards, but I was still able to beat him out because I had flipped over Imperial Order, which is in my sideboard, and he top decked a Spiral Resort and he wasn't able to do anything, so I was able to kill him. But for this, what you can do is detach one during either player's turn. You could detach one XZ material, and then you could destroy one Spell Trap card on the field. Alright, and then we're running the small Utopia package, number 39 and Lightning. I really like this card. It can destroy like problematic monsters that your opponent controls. There's not really much else to say for that. Alright, we running one Evil Zor Logia. I almost want to run 2 of them, but I mean, there's so much I'm already trying to fit into this extra deck, so it's really hard to, I don't know, make room for an extra one. But I do prefer this over Dolka most of the time. But yeah, so pretty much you could detach 2 from this, and you could stop one of your opponent's monsters that would be normal or special summon or a spell or trap card activation. Especially since this deck loses to Mirror Force pretty hard, I like to make this so you can kind of give yourself an extra layer of protection against a Mirror Force. So they would need 2 for them to actually blow you out. And then we're running one Evil Zor Dolka. So this is, I mean, it's still a good card. I just like the other one a little bit more. But during either player's turn, when a monster effect's activated, you could detach 1 from it, and then you can negate the activation and destroy the monster. And it's not limited to once per turn, so you could destroy 2 of their monsters if they're like foolish enough to, you know, activate 2 of their monster effects. Next, we're running Gaga Samurai. I didn't go into this yesterday. There was one play where I almost did, but I didn't opt to go into this. But you can detach 1 and then target a warrior on your side of the field, I think it is, or a Gaga monster, I'm sorry. And then it can attack twice, so you'll just target itself and you'll be attacking for 1900 both swings. Then we're running one Abyss Dweller. Graveyard effects are very, very prevalent in this format, so this is a really solid card against a lot of decks. It pretty much just shuts down any effect that would activate in the graveyard. Yeah. And then for our synchros, we're running one Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It was pretty funny online when I was playing on YGO Pro. I was going first, and my opponent, midway through my play, they summoned 1 monster from their hand to their side of the field, which I don't really know what kind of deck he was even running because he ended up scooping after my play. But I summoned this on my first turn, and I was going first, like I said. And I was able to banish the card on their field and 1 in their hand, so that's 2 down, and leaving them with 3 cards in their hand. And yeah, it was pretty funny because I also went into the Blathanier to banish another one from their hand. So I 2-for-1 them just from this alone, and then yeah, banish another card. Next, we're running a high speed Chambara. So this card, I really like this. It helps your OTKs really like easily. So it can attack twice, and both times, or each time it attacks, it gains 200 attack. So the first time you're swinging, you're gonna be hitting for 2200, and then the second swing is gonna be 2400. Next, we have a Naturia Beast. This card's really sick. It pretty much just, if your opponent activates a spell card, you can put the top 2 cards of your deck into the graveyard and negate and destroy that spell. So it's really good. Next, we have a Dinglong, First of the Yangzing. So this is what really helps you go into your rank 9s. You'll want to synchro into this with one of your rank 4s, obviously, and then your Draculeo. And then you could easily go into your True King of All Calamities or your Blathanair if you choose that route. So that's it for the extra deck. And now for our side deck, I'm running Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This didn't come up too much yesterday, but it is really good. It's a good card either way. There's not a lot of people running like any kind of diagram deck besides one of the Dinosaur players there, or 2 of the Dinosaur players, but I didn't even get the chance to use it against the one that I played the Mirror. But I like this going second. Obviously, I'll take out the Solemn Strikes normally and add these or some Cosmic Cyclones depending on what the matchup is. Next, we're running a small Kaiju package. So we have a Dogoran already in the deck, so it'll be 4 of the Kaijus you're running, and then 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. It's really good against. I mean, it could be good against most decks, but Kaijus are really good for outing like a Masterpiece. And this is also just really good against the the Zodiac deck, because board wipes are very strong against them. Next, we're running 3 Cosmic Cyclone. It's really good against the True Dracos because it banishes their spells and traps, so they can't reuse they can't get the effect for them dying, and they can't reuse them for like a masterpiece fodder to destroy a card that you control. So you pay 1,000 life points and banish one of your opponent's spell or traps, so it's pretty dope. Then we're running, for some traps, we're running 3-dimensional barrier. This is mostly for a Zodiac matchup. I didn't even put it in against the Spiral player because I felt like I had a good matchup against him anyways, and they're not pure Zodiac, so he wasn't running any of the fusion summons or anything, so he wasn't gonna like be drawing 5 cards or anything crazy like that. So I didn't even bother to put these in against them. But like if you're playing against like a pure Zodiac matchup, or something like super synchro heavy or something like that, then you know it's a good card against them. And then 1 Imperial Order, which came up pretty nice yesterday. Came in pretty clutch against the Spiral Zoo True Draco deck. Alright guys, well that's all for my True King Dinosaur deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's pretty standard for the most part, but I just wanted to show you guys what I had success with at my locals. This is my first one I've won, and yeah, I was pretty excited. This deck is a lot of fun. Like I said, it does have a lot of combos and stuff that you can do, and it's I don't know, it just has tons of card advantages. Like destroying your monsters can still like net you advantage by banishing from the graveyard and whatnot. But yeah, so this deck's a lot of fun. I highly suggest trying it out if you have the diagrams, and if you're already running like a True Draco or something, you could easily put this deck together because it is very cheap, like 3 structure decks, and you have most of this deck already. Alright guys, well thanks a lot for tuning in. Like this video if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more content from me in the future. I try to do as many openings as I can when a new set comes out, so I try to do, yeah, like I said, as many of those videos as possible. So yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.